Right, you lot, welcome back to the channel for part 2 of this epic 2-part special. Last week we dove into my personal top 10 games of 2024, absolute bangers, so if you missed it, go check it out after this one. Today we're looking ahead at future, breaking down my top 10 most anticipated games of 2025, from industry giants to surprising comebacks. This list is packed with games that are guaranteed to shake things up next year. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It helps the channel grow and keeps this madness going. Right. Let's not waste any time. Let's dive straight in. Alright, kicking off the list at number 10, it's big one, Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, it's finally happening. After years of leaks and rumours and more speculation than stock market crash, Rockstar has finally confirmed it's on its way in 2025. And gaming world, it's collectively losing its mind. Let's talk about what we know so far. GTA 6 is bringing back Vice City, but this isn't just a rehash of 80s neon nostalgia from GTA Vice City. Nah, this is Vice City reimagined for modern era. Bigger, bolder, more alive than ever. Teasers have promised an open world that evolves dynamically, with weather systems, living economies, and NPCs that react to you in ways we've never seen before. Most exciting bit? Dual protagonists. You're getting a Bonnie and Clyde style duo, complete with a story that promises to mix Rockstar's signature satire with most personal and emotional narrative. And of course, it's not GTA with an absurd level of detail. Expect everything from customizable cars and properties to side quests that'll make you question your life choices. And let's be real, pressure on Rockstar's insane. It's been over a decade since GTA 5 launched, and bar has been set sky high. Fans are expecting a revolution in open world gaming, and all less could be seen as a disappointment. Add to that rumoured live service component for GTA Online, and you got a recipe for both excitement and skepticism. Now, while I'm hyped, I can't help but have a few concerns. Can Rockstar deliver a game that lives up to impossible expectations? Will online mode overshadow single-player experience like it did with GTA 5? And of course, there's question of whether microtransactions will sneak their way in. Still, there's no denying that GTA 6 is one of the most anticipated games of all time. Whether it's groundbreaking or just really, really good, it's going to dominate conversation in 2025. I feel sorry for Call of Duty this year. Alright, from a sprawling open world to something a little more nostalgic. Swinging in at number 9 spot, we've got beloved classic making a triumphant return, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. If you're a fan of platforming perfection, this one's already on your radar. Nintendo's officially decided to revisit magic of Donkey Kong Country Returns and bring it into stunning high-definition glory. And honestly, it's about time. For those who don't know, or maybe need a refresher, Donkey Kong Country Returns was 2010 revival of DKC series, originally released on Wii. It brought back franchises type platforming, creative level design, and that iconic mix of charm and challenge. And now in 2025 we're getting a remastered version with a visual overhaul, enhanced mechanics, and even some new content to sweeten the deal. Let's talk visuals. From what we've seen so far, HD upgrade is stunning. Environments are more vibrant, animations are smoother, and Donkey Kong and gang have never looked better. Jungle stages, minecart chaos, underwater levels, it's all back. And it's gorgeous. While original had some motion control quirks on Wii, Remaster is promising tighter, more precise controls that should make every jump and roll feel just right. But it's not just about looks. Nintendo's teased some exciting new features for this remaster. There's talk of additional levels that expand on original story, new collectibles to hunt for, and even a co-op mode that promises to be smoother and more dynamic than ever before. Imagine rolling through jungle with a buddy by your side. That's what gaming memories are made of. Of course, there's always question, is a remaster enough? Some fans might argue Nintendo should be focusing on an entirely new Donkey Kong adventure rather than revisiting old ground. But honestly, for a game as beloved as Returns, I think there's plenty of room for both nostalgia and excitement. So will Donkey Kong Country Return HD live up to legacy at original? And more importantly, will it capture hearts at a new generation of gamers? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Alright, let's keep this list rolling. At number 8, we've got Bubsy in Purrfect Collection. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bubsy? Really? But hear me out. This is 2025. Stranger things have happened in gaming. Infamous Bobcat is back. And for the first time in, well, ever, people are cautiously optimistic about it. So what exactly is Purrfect Collection? It's a remastered bundle of Bubsy's greatest, or maybe just most memorable hits, including Bubsy in Close Encounters of Third Kind, Bubsy 2, and even much maligned Bubsy 3D. But here's twist, developers didn't just slap a new coat of paint on these games. They've reworked controls, overall visuals, and even added quality of life improvements to make experience, dare I say, enjoyable? Let's start with visuals. Remastered levels look surprisingly good. Environments are colourful and detailed. And Bubsy's animations are finally smooth and expressive, instead of feeling like they belong in a fever dream. And yeah, they've cleaned up infamous Bubsy 3D. It's no longer an assault on your eyes or your sanity. Devs have even added commentary mode, where you can listen to and poke fun at games' original flaws while you play. It's self-awareness at its finest. Gameplay-wise, biggest improvements, controls. Original Bubsy games were notorious for the floaty jumps and frustrating mechanics, but Purrfect Collection tightens everything up. It's not groundbreaking, but it's solid, and that's honestly all we ever wanted for a Bubsy game. They've even included new challenge levels and collectibles to give players more reason to explore and, dare I say, enjoy the time with Bubsy. Now, I'm not saying this collection is going to win Game of the Year, but it's clear developers have poured genuine effort into making this more than just a cynical cash grab. It's a love letter to fans who grew up with Bubsy, all tenors, and an attempt to redeem franchise's reputation. Still, can't help but wonder, is there really a place for Bubsy in today's gaming landscape? Or is this just a novelty that will fade faster than you can say, what could possibly go wrong? Alright, enough about Bobcat, let's talk about real classic. At number 7, we got legendary franchise making its grand comeback, Double Dragon Revive. That's right folks, beat 'em up genre is alive and well, and Lee Brothers are back to remind us why this series is such a cornerstone of arcade gaming. Double Dragon Revive takes everything you loved about original games, tight combat, co-op chaos, and that sweet pixel art, and gives it a 2025 glow up. Game's a full reimagining at series, blending classic side-scrolling action with modern mechanics, flashy visuals, and an updated soundtrack that absolutely slaps. Let's talk about gameplay first. Core combat is just as satisfying as you remember, with punchy combos, weapon pickups, and that nostalgic sense of satisfaction when you take down a room full of enemies. But this time around, there's a deeper combo system and new special moves that let you really customize your playstyle. Billy and Jimmy have never felt so dynamic in the fighting. Co-op mode is where Double Dragon Revive really shines, whether you're playing locally or online. Teaming up with a friend and taking on waves of thugs is just as fun and chaotic as ever. And for the first time, they've introduced a 4-player mode, where you can tag in new characters with their own unique abilities. Yeah, Marion is now a fully playable butt-kicking character. And let me tell you, she's awesome. Then there's story mode, which takes classic damsel in distress trope and flips it on its head. This isn't just a rehash of original plot, there's a deeper narrative, with expanding lore and some genuinely surprising twists. It's not Oscar worthy, but it's a fun ride that keeps you hooked between fights. Visually, Double Dragon Revive strikes perfect balance between nostalgia and modern flair. Hand-drawn art style pays homage to original pixelated look while adding depth and fluidity to animations. Environments are packed with detail, from neon-lit cityscapes to grimy back alleys, making every level feel like a living, breathing world. If there's one potential downside, it's that difficulty curve is still pretty steep. Fans of old school challenge will love it, but newcomers might find themselves rage quitting a bit earlier than expected. And while the game is packed with content, it remains to be seen whether it'll have longevity that keep players coming back after finishing story. Still, Double Dragon Revive is shaping up to be a brilliant revival of one of gaming's most iconic franchises. Whether you're a long-time fan or new to the series, this is one to keep an eye on. Let's keep rolling. At number 6, we're diving into the world of ancient tombs and perilous puzzles with Tomb Raider 4-6 Remastered. After the success of Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered collection, we're only a matter of time before the next set of classics got the same treatment. And let me tell you, this remaster is shaping up to be an absolute treasure for fans of the franchise. This collection takes us through Last Revelation, Chronicles, and Angel of Darkness, games that marked a pivotal era for Lara Croft. Each title brought its own flavour to the series, with Last Revelations focusing on intense puzzle solving and exploration, Chronicles gain as a mix of standalone adventures, and Angel of Darkness, well, let's just say it's getting redemption arc it deserves. Visual upgrades are stunning. These games have been reimagined with modern graphics while still staying true to original design. From sunlit sands of Egypt in Last Revelation to shadowy streets of Paris in Angel of Darkness, every environment feels more alive and immersive. And of course, Lara herself has been updated with smoother animations and more realistic character models. Gameplay-wise, Remastered promises tighter controls and smoother mechanics. One of the biggest criticisms of original games were the tank-like movements, but this remaster aims to fix that while keeping challenge and precision that define the series. They've also added more accessibility features, like adjustable difficulty settings and optional hints for those who might get stuck in games' more intricate puzzles. Now let's talk about Angel of Darkness. It were infamous for its ambitious ideas but clunky execution back in the day. Remaster is giving it a much needed overhaul, with reworked controls, improved combat, and more cohesive storyline. This could finally beat version of Angel of Darkness we always wanted. But it's not just about games themselves. Remasters include behind-the-scenes extras, concept art, and commentary from developers, making this collection a true celebration of Tomb Raider's legacy. Of course, there are some lingering concerns. Will these remasters be enough to win over modern audiences who didn't grow up with Lara's classic adventures? And how well will revamped mechanics blend with original design? Regardless, Tomb Raider 4-6 Remastered is shaping up to be another must-play for fans of the franchise. Whether you're a long-time adventurer or a newcomer curious about Lara's roots, this collection is a fantastic way to experience games that defined an era. Next up, we're diving into realm of RPGs. Breaking into top 5, we've got Avowed. If you're a fan of epic RPGs, intricate worlds and deep storytelling, this one's been on your radar for a while. Obsidian Entertainment's back, and after massive success at Outer Worlds, they're ready to take things to the next level with this highly anticipated title. Set in Pillars of Eternity universe, Avowed is shaping up to be a sprawling first-person RPG that blends immersive exploration with rich lore that Obsidian's known for. Imagine freedom and open-world design at Elder Scrolls games, combined with Obsidian's knack for tight storytelling and branching choices. Yeah, that's kinda exciting. From what we've seen so far, game's absolutely stunning. World of Eora has been brought to life with vibrant environments, atmospheric lighting, and intricate details that make every corner feel alive. Whether you're wandering through dense forests, exploring ancient ruins, or sneaking through shadowy caverns, it's clear that Avowed is going to be a feast for eyes. Combat's another big draw here. Obsidian is promising a mix of melee, ranged, and magical-based systems that let you build your character exactly how you want. Want to swing a giant sword and smash your enemies into oblivion? Go for it. Prefer to hurl fireballs and freeze foes in the tracks? That's an option too. Flexibility in playstyle is going to be a major highlight. Magic systems look especially cool, with dynamic casting animations and spell combinations. Let's be real, after any Obsidian game, its story. Avowed promises a rich narrative filled with moral dilemmas, factions to align with or betray, and tough decisions that will shape fate at world. If they can pull this off at same level and depth at Pillars of Eternity, we're in for a treat. Now, there are a few lingering questions. Can Avowed really step out its shadow or Elder Scrolls series and carve its own identity? Will gameplay feel as polished as it looks? Or will there be some rough edges like we've seen in previous Obsidian titles? And of course, will it deliver the same level of player choice and consequences that fans are hoping for? Regardless, Avowed has all ingredients to be a showstopper in 2025. It's ambitious, it's gorgeous, and it's coming from a studio that knows how to craft unforgettable RPGs. Next up at number 4, we're heading into unforgiving sands of Arrakis with Dune Awakening. This one has everyone buzzing, and for good reason. It's an ambitious blend of MMO and survival gameplay, all set in iconic Dune universe. If you're a fan of sci-fi epics, this could be a game that defines 2025. So what makes Dune Awakening so exciting? For starters, it's aiming to deliver an open-world experience that's as vast and unforgiving as Arrakis itself. Game promises a persistent online world where thousands of players can explore, fight, and survive together or against each other. And when I say survival, I mean it. From sandstorms that can bury you alive to ever-present threat of sandworms. Arrakis isn't just a setting, it's a living, breathing antagonist. Gameplay-wise, it's shaping up to be a mix of resource management, crafting, and large-scale conflict. You'll need to gather resources like spice, water, and equipment to survive while navigating political intrigue of Dune's warring factions. Do you ally yourself with Fremen, work for House Harkonnen, or carve out your own path as a rogue operator in desert? Choice is yours. One of the most exciting features is game's dynamic events. Imagine being out in open desert, scrambling to secure spice deposits while sandworms loom just below the surface, or participating in massive PvP battles between player-led factions. Stakes are high, and every decision you make can have a ripple effect on the world around you. Visually, Dune Awakening is a feast for eyes. Developers have done an incredible job capturing harsh beauty of Arrakis, from its towering dunes to its sprawling cities. Scale of world is massive, and it feels like they've nailed the atmosphere of Dune, a mix of awe, danger, and mystery. Now, while there's a lot to be excited about, there are a few potential concerns. Balancing a game of this scale is no small feat, especially with both PvE and PvP elements at play. Will it deliver on its promise of meaningful player interactions, or will it fall into the trap of feeling empty like so many other ambitious MMOs? And then there's question of monetization. MMOs and survival games have history of leaning too heavily into microtransactions, but if Dune Awakening can pull it off, it has potential to be a game changer, not just for fans of Dune franchise, but for MMO and survival genres as a whole. Let's keep going. And coming in hot at number 3 is FragPunk. This is nuking up blocking shooter world, and it's already turning heads with a bold mixer of top action, punk rock aesthetics, and innovative mechanics. If you're looking for something fresh and chaotic in 2025, FragPunk might just be your game. So what's FragPunk all about? Imagine a fast-paced arena shooter, but throwing a gritty dystopian world dripping with punk attitude. Game combines FPS mechanics with a wild anarchic twist. You're not just shooting to win, you're building your legend in a world where style, chaos, and creativity are just as important as your kill count. Standout feature here is Punk system, which rewards players for pulling off stylish moves and embracing risks. You can chain together kills, use environmental hazards to take out enemies, or even cause mayhem with gadgets like exploding skateboards or AMP grenades. Crazier your gameplay, more you're rewarded. Client have taken rulebook of traditional shooters and set it on fire. Visuals are another highlight. FragPunk sports a bold neon-soaked aesthetic that feels like a mix of Cyberpunk 2077 and a classic punk rock album covers. Levels are packed with interactive elements, from destructible stages to hazards like collapsing buildings or runaway trains. No two matches feel the same, and it keeps adrenaline pumping. Let's talk customization. FragPunk isn't just about your loadout, it's about your look. Players can deck out the character with a ridiculous range of punk-inspired gear, from spiked leather jackets to neon mohawks. Your style ain't just for show though. Some cosmetics come with perks that enhance your gameplay, adding another layer of strategy. Multiplayer is where this game really shines. Developers have promised a mix of classic modes like Deathmatch and Captured Flag, alongside completely new modes that encourage creativity and teamwork. One mod that's gotten a lot of attention is Heist, where players compete to loot and escape a sprawling city while sabotaging each other. It's fast, it's frantic, and it's exactly what you'd expect from a game with frag in title. But like any ambitious game, FragPunk comes with some risks. Focused on style and chaos could alienate players who prefer more grounded shooters, and with some moving parts, balance is going to be key. Nobody wants a meta where one strategy dominates all others. Still, FragPunk's shaping up to be a bold, refreshing take on shooter genre. It's got attitude, creativity, and enough chaos to keep you coming back for more. Next up at number 2, we're heading into darker territory with Doom: Dark Ages. Just when you thought Doom franchise couldn't get any more brutal, id Software decided to take things to a whole new level, literally throwing us back in time to medieval era for dark and twisted spin on demon-slaying formula we all know and love. So what's premise of Doom: Dark Ages? This time you're not Doomslayer from future, but his ancient predecessor, a knight bound by a cursed lineage to fight forces of hell. Set in a bleak medieval world ravaged by demonic invasions, game trades sci-fi tech for brutal medieval weaponry like broadswords, crossbows, and even dark magic. And don't worry, still Doom, so you still get your hands on medieval versions of fan-favourite weapons, like Hellfire-powered ballista or rune-carved shotgun. What makes this stand out is how it blends classic Doom formula with gritty medieval combat. Melee mechanics are a big focus, with brutal executions, parries, and combos that feel weighty and satisfying. You can chain together devastating melee attacks, mix in ranged weapons, and even use dark magic to obliterate your enemies. It's fast, visceral, and unapologetically violent, exactly what you'd expect from Doom. Level design also takes a bold new direction, gone at futuristic corridors and Mars bases. Instead, you'll be exploring crumbling castles, fiery dungeons, and sprawling battlefields littered with remains of humanity's last stand. And of course, demons have been reimagined to fit medieval setting. Think skeletal knights, cursed warlocks, massive siege beasts that will test your skills and your patience. Soundtrack? Absolutely bone-crushing. Mick Gordon might not be on board this time, but new composer is channeling the same relentless energy, blending heavy metal with dark gothic tones to match the medieval vibe. Every track makes you feel like a one-man army ready to rip and tear through Hell's legions. Now, while Doom: Dark Ages sounds incredible, there are a few questions. Can id Software successfully balance melee and range combat without losing its signature Doom speed and flow? And how will addition of dark magic fit into the gameplay loop? It's a big departure from what fans are used to, but it could also be a breath of fresh air series needs. One thing's for sure, Doom: Dark Ages is pushing franchise into bold, uncharted territory. It's dark, it's brutal, and it's shaping up to be one of the most unique entries in series. Nah, we made it to top. Number 1 game to look forward to in 2025 is here, and trust me, this one's gonna blow your mind. And now, it's not another Call of Duty. That's right, real star of 2025 is Splitgate 2. After surprise success at original Splitgate, 1047 Games is back, and they're bringing us a sequel that promises to be bigger, better, and even more mind-bending. For those of you who missed out on first game, Splitgate were a fast-paced arena shooter that combined classic FPS mechanics with a portal system straight out of a sci-fi fever dream. It was like Halo met Portal, and it worked. Now with Splitgate 2, devs are pushing concept to absolute limits. First off, portals. In the original game, they were a fun and creative way to outplay your opponents. In Splitgate 2, they're taking it up a notch with more advanced mechanics, like curve portals, environmental interactions, multi-dimensional puzzles. Imagine using portals not just for movement, but to manipulate Battlefield itself, like redirecting enemy fire or setting up devastating traps. Possibilities are endless, and it's going to add a whole new layer of strategy to gameplay. Then there's new engine. Splitgate 2 has been built from ground up on a next-gen engine, and it shows. Visuals are absolutely stunning, with vibrant arenas, dynamic lighting, and fluid animations that make every firefight feel cinematic. Game also promises a more immersive experience with destructible environments and real-time physics that will keep you on your toes. Multiplayers, of course, are to Splitgate, and they're doubling down on competitive scene. Ranked modes, advanced matchmaking, and fully customizable private lobbies are just tip of iceberg. Devs have also teased new game modes that go beyond traditional arena shooters, including massive team battles and objective-based missions that will test your teamwork and creativity. And let's not forget customization. Splitgate 2 is introducing a robust progression system that lets you unlock everything from weapon skins to portal designs, all without pay-to-win mechanics. They've even hinted at a community-driven map editor, which means you could see some wild creations from player base. Of course, stakes are high. Original Splitgate were a breakout hit, but can sequel keep momentum going in crowd FPS market? And with all these ambitious features, will it deliver on its promises without sacrificing fast-paced gameplay that made first game so fun? One thing's for sure, Splitgate 2 has potential to redefine shooter genre. It's bold, it's innovative, and it's exactly the kind of fresh energy we need in gaming. And there you have it, my top 10 most anticipated games of 2025. From long-awaited GTA 6 to bold innovations of Splitgate 2. Next year's shaping up to be an absolute powerhouse of gaming. Whether you're into sprawling open worlds, nostalgic revivals, or fresh takes on competitive shooters, there's something here for everyone. But now it's your turn. Which games are you most excited for in 2025? Did I miss any that deserve a spot on this list? Drop your thoughts, questions, and spicy text in comments below. I'll be reading through and might even feature some of them in an upcoming video. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Your support means well to me. Thanks for watching, you magnificent.